Just steal friggin' Game Explains. Dun, 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 dun.
Yeah. I wish I still had the one we used to use, like 8.
Oh, the guitar riff?
Yeah.
Yeah, from Yoko. Hey Yoko, if you're watching and you're not, I know you're not. How you doing, buddy? It's been a while.
Make another one. We need another guitar riff.
Show me your news, man. Dude was the reason I started podcasting.
Yeah, and he was a great guy.
He was.
He was a great guy. It was really fun chatting it up with him the few times I got to.
It's a shame we're talking about him as if he's dead or gone. He was a great guy.
Rest in peace. May he forever be remembered for the news that he showed. By the way, I'm looking at the thumbnail right now. That's beautiful. That's excellent work, man.
Thank you.
It's delicious. Curiously enough, it's making me hungry, which is good because I've got some leftover food downstairs that I picked up last night, and it was very good. We're gonna do this food thing again today, guys. We're gonna talk about something.
I'm excited.
To share, Nate?
I'll wait for you guys to go.
Okay, cool. So this week, I've talked about this place that I go to, this burger shop that's down near where I work. That's called Big League. It's like a baseball themed burger shop, and they've got a lot of great stuff there. And over the past couple of months, I've really been trying to make my way through the entirety of their menu because it's super duper good. And last night, I dived into there and got myself a big burger, and I wanted to talk a little bit about it. It's this burger they call the Mick. And it is a seasoned 10-ounce burger. Of course, everything I get there is you can get burgers in either 10 ounces of meat or 6 ounces of meat. I always go for the 10 ounce because I'm a big guy. It's topped with cheddar cheese, applewood smoked bacon, onion rings, and a side of barbecue sauce. Now, the onion rings that they top this thing with, this elicits the kind of image of the Burger King style onion rings. Where they throw like the little lightly breaded, lightly deep fried onion rings onto a burger and call it quits, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
No. These things, the onion rings they use here, they make them themselves. It's basically half an onion covered in bread that's been dropped into a deep fryer. So it's this big, huge onion ring sitting on top of your burger, just smothered in barbecue sauce, and it was delicious.
Oh my
God. That wasn't the... Yeah, I know. I can just, taste the diabetes on the way. But that wasn't the only thing I got. They also do a specialty sort of fries thing called foul ball fries. Now, if you've ever been to a restaurant like Outback Steakhouse, they do their little famous cheese fries, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I was about to say, does nobody else here go to Outback Steakhouse? Am I the only one?
Dude, that's a rare occasion kind of thing.
I've been kind of avoiding Longhorn and Outback lately.
Because of the one bad experience you had at Longhorn?
I've had 3 straight bad experiences at each of them.
Oh, no. You're going to need to tell us about that, about what's your bad experience at Longhorn and...
Just stale, dry food. Nothing really all that great.
That's why I've been... You got to get your burgers medium well, dude.
That's what I do.
The juice.
I got to have the big juice.
Got to have the big juicy burger.
But go ahead.
But so it's something like that, like the cheese fries that you can get at an Outback or something, or chili cheese fries you can get from anywhere else. By the way, it was National Chili Day like a day or so ago.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, you got to celebrate with Sonic.
Sonic drowning himself in a bowl of chili.
Yeah, it's both a beautiful and a terrifying way to see him go. But anyways, they have these things called foul ball fries, and it is a basket of huge steak fries loaded with diced buffalo chicken.
Rip.
Covered in schmelted cheddar cheese, blue cheese crumbles, and bacon bits thrown... Well, not even bacon bits. They basically take like 12 big strips of bacon, cut them in half, and throw them on this thing.
Dude,
and then they cover it all in a sea of ranch.
You are actually physically hurting me directly in the diabetes.
Literally killing you right now. I'm sorry, brother. But if you had to go, you got to go. You got to go out on your terms. So I had a bit of that. I had my 10-ounce burger. It was delicious. This place is amazing. They do all kinds of big, great specialty burgers and whatnot. And I've been making my way through their list of stuff. Like they've got one called the Fernando, which is a burger that comes with like taco seasoning and sliced avocado and jalapenos. They've got one called the Golden Greek Market, which is like a ground lamb burger. And I'm just trying to make my way through all of these burgers. This is the place where I got the high cheese from. And I'm making my way to the ultimate burger they've got. The Babe. They have a thing called the Babe Challenge where you can take on this challenge and try to KO the Babe. It is 2 of their seasoned 10-ounce burgers stacked high with grilled ham and cheese sandwiches as the buns, applewood smoked bacon, cheese, onion rings, lettuce, tomatoes, pickles, served with a big mound of their foul ball fries. And if you can clean the whole thing, you get a t-shirt and you get put on a wall of fame.
I was going to say that, and they call you the pig in the city.
You gotta be, dude. It's 2 10-ounce burgers with grilled cheese ham and cheese sandwiches as the buns. What do you mean?
That is apocalyptic food.
It's the end, man. It's how the end of the world comes about, not with a bang, but with a satisfied whimper. And I'm trying to make my way up to having the stomach fortitude to trying that challenge. I don't know if I'll ever be able to do it. That sounds like too much food for me, man. Gotta be honest.
God, that makes what I had sound so tame.
Well, bring it on, man. What you got?
Okay, so you guys know what Wawa is, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, everybody knows about Wawa. So they make your sandwiches, and you can put pretty much whatever you want on it. And usually I just go for the meatball sub, cheesesteak, whatever. I decided to get a little crazy. Obviously not as crazy as the Babe, but I really annoyed the crap out of whoever took me that day. So I got a chicken cheesesteak on a long sub. I got it with sauteed onions and applewood smoked bacon. And I had them toast the whole thing. And
no part of this sounds incorrect.
Yep. It's pretty amazing. And I had them there is one part that some people might find contention with, and that's I like American cheese on my sandwiches.
Nothing wrong with that.
I love American cheese. Everybody always tells me American cheese, it either drowns out the flavor or there's no flavor. And to those people I say you are wrong.
Yeah, that's weird. You think you'd hear that about cheddar, because cheddar usually has a really strong flavor.
Oh,
especially sharp cheddar.
Wawa cheddar
can drown out other things.
Wawa cheddar is practically plastic. It's awful. I don't know what it is. Their American cheese is fantastic. So, drizzled with American cheese, and it was phenomenal.
This is big. I'm glad everybody here is eating pretty well. Although I don't know if John has a story. I don't think he does, though. Do you?
Oh, I do. Chill.
Oh,
bring
it
on then, man.
Went out just last night. Treated my mama, as I usually do. We went out last night to get some grub because we hadn't been out in 2 weeks. Usually, when my dad goes on business trips, I take her out to dinner. But yeah, we went out to the usual place we go to, which is Aqualinda. It's a Mexican restaurant, in not downtown Athens, but going towards downtown Athens.
Mm-hmm.
And it's extremely good. Just home cooked Mexican food. Just soothes your soul. I'm really big on any type of not stereotypical street foods. I like Mexican food. I used to like Chinese food before I had to cut out chicken and shrimp out of my diet due to allergic reasons, or allergies rather. And I've just been going to this Mexican restaurant for the past year now, because we've noticed that it's really cheap food. I think dinner for us costed $29-$30 last night, which is extremely well for just 2 people. So
money.
What I got was, we got a large cheese dip with their little cantina chips, and I ordered a 32-ounce beer. So it was in a tall mug, which I was like, yes, because I really needed it, because I haven't had a beer in probably 3 weeks, and I've just been stressing over school and stuff, so I really needed something to kick back with. And I got their in-house chimichanga.
Oh, Lord.
Let me see it.
With barbecue beef, all wrapped up, covered in cheese dip, red sauce, and green sauce, smothered all over with rice and beans. And then I just devoured it in like 10 to 15 minutes. It was so good.
There's no other way to eat a chimichanga.
It's so good.
It's got to tear into it.
And it was great because what I do, since we ordered that large cheese dip, if we have anything left over, I cut the chimichanga in half and I just pour the cheese dip on that we had left over. It was so good.
That's what you do, man. That's how you handle that.
And then that beer went down so well. Oh my God.
Sounds like you had yourself a pretty enjoyable dinner, man.
Yeah, because Dos Equis is like one of my favorite beers, and they have it on draft. And when you have when you have a beer on draft versus out of bottle, it's a completely different taste.
Yeah.
It's so good. So I downed that in like 15 minutes. It was way too good. But that's my story.
Well, right on, dude. That's pretty big. I think that counts. That goes in the food discussion section. Kind of reminds me of this. What's that?
I was just gonna say, man, I wish I could go to a restaurant around here and just like get a beer, and it would be nice. But you drink alcohol in public in New Jersey, and you end up in the back of a truck. So I think I'll just stick to
skip out on that.
Yeah.
Rip. Well, I think that's an excellent way to sort of top off the food section here. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the End of the Week podcast, episode 34, the actual factual one about Switch and stuff, man. I am your host, along with my co-host. I'm TheBlackLink. We've got Nate.
Yo.
We've got John.
John's a burger.
I don't know what you mean. I just eat them. Well, they say you are what you eat, so I guess technically, spiritually, you are correct.
Based off actual factual studies.
Yeah. And today we're going to be talking about a lot of things. We are 1 week away. We are one day less than 1 week away from the official launch of the Nintendo Switch. I can't believe it's almost time, and I still haven't gotten a pre-order in.
I'm worried for you, man.
Rip.
Like,
it's.
I would love to believe that there are just copies laying around, but Nintendo though.
Yeah, and this
they
is
short the market on purpose.
It's starting to feel a lot like 2007 again, when I was rushing around to try and get myself a Wii, and I don't know if I like that. I don't know if I like not having a Switch on hand when I'm less than 7 days away from the official launch of this thing. At this point, I'm probably just going to have to walk into a Walmart or something, which I hate. I hate going to Walmart. But I'm probably just going to have to risk walking in there and seeing if they have one. That or a Target or something.
You want to speak hate? I'm going to be going to the midnight launch, if they have it, at GameStop. Be standing in line with all of the neckbeards and whining children and mothers who don't care about video games, whining that they have to stand outside in their good shoes. And, well, the reason why is because I don't trust GameStop. Mm-hmm. And that was the only place I could get one. So I know GameStop will sell my Switch. And if I'm not there at midnight, when the door opens, I won't get mine. They will sell it. I know they will.
That's a thing that's definitely happened before. If you're not there on launch night, they'll just give yours away, and when you come in the next day, they'll be like, "Oh,
stock shortage."
Stock shortage. There we go. That's it. It's like, I know what you did. I've been here before.
Yep.
I've seen this. So yeah, thankfully I live in a relatively small town, so I usually on release days I'm able to just walk in and get whatever I need. So hopefully that's going to be the case. Nintendo did promise that they would not be having console shortages. But if pre-orders are anything to sort of gauge this by, that's looking like it's not going to be the case, because there's been a shortage online for pre-orders basically since the initial pre-orders went live. Like, I have been every day checking the Amazon Nintendo Switch page, and I have not been able to catch it when Switches are available on Amazon.
Switch sold out on Amazon the minute that it went live.
Yeah. And I can't say I'm surprised by that. This is Nintendo we're talking about here, and it's not the first time we've had to deal with shortages like this. With the original Wii, with Amiibos, and certainly with the Nintendo Switch right now. So wish me luck. I'm going to be probably at a store on Thursday night or maybe just Friday morning, trying to get myself a Nintendo Switch. It's going to be a busy week for me next week, man. I got a lot of stuff to buy.
I bet.
Build my PC. I got to buy my Switch. I got to buy Zelda. I'm still hunting down that Master Edition of Zelda because I want that sword. I want the sword.
I was just gonna say, Nintendo actually did something really cool where they made it so that you can pre-order the exclusive edition again. They're putting out more copies. Really? Yeah, it's
of the special edition or the Master Edition, because they're different.
Oh, maybe it's just the special.
Because the special edition is the one that it has everything that the Master Edition does except the sword.
Oh,
I think that's how it works out.
If I had to guess, then no.
Well, we'll have to see, because I need to get my hands on it. Especially if I want to be making Switch content here on the channel. I need to pick that thing up and get out there. But I'm sure I'll get my hands on it at some point. If nothing else, I'll just have to brave the wilderness of Walmart at 3 a.m. and go pick mine up from there. I will. I will have a lot of fun dealing with the weird people of Walmart, and so will you, because you haven't pre-ordered one either.
Doesn't mean I'm gonna buy it the next day.
It does.
I'm probably just gonna wait on it.
Nah, you're gonna be there. I see you.
Nah, not really.
Sitting there waiting.
I'm gonna take my time.
Yeah. You gonna get yours. Switch will get theirs.
Well.
But anyways, we've got a lot to talk about today when it comes to the Nintendo Switch, because of course, content creators have gotten their hands on it. They were sent out early this week. Even people like Goth and the Destiny community got their hands on it. Game Explain got their hands on it. Sky got his hands on his. But before we discuss that, we're going to talk a little bit about some of the games we've been playing this week, because that's what we do on this show. We play games and we talk about our experience with them. So, let's see. Eeny, meeny, miny. Nate, what have you been playing?
Still been playing a ton of Monster Hunter, as per the usual. Been playing the Monster Hunter Double Cross demo. Did I talk about that on the podcast? I had to have. We talked about it on the
not in depth, so I'd like you to get into a little bit more of it here, because you've been playing around with a lot of different weapons in the Brave style, as I recall.
I have. It's been okay. So Brave style is going to be the new Elite style that everybody plays. Okay. It's what Adept should have been, and I think that Adept should have been called something else, like Dodge style or something else. This would translate very well into Adept, I believe, in English. But Brave style is so you sacrifice some of your moves in order to gain a meter that you can fill, and once you fill it, you enter a state where you get more powerful moves, in some cases a completely different moveset, and buffs that affect the way you play. So my personal favorites are Heavy Bowgun and Gunlance. And Gunlance is quickly proving to be like the most powerful weapon in the demo. Yeah. Like people are like...
Has that ever been the case in Monster Hunter?
Right. With Gunlance, what happens is once you fill your Brave meter, you gain the ability to rapid fire your shells, and you also gain a quick reload with a guard point on it. So you can block attacks while reloading, and then instantaneously follow up with attacks, which is incredible.
It's a little busted.
It's a little busted, yeah. It's
about time Gunlance needed something.
You also gain, while you're in Brave Style, you get a quick Dragon Fire, which is it's the same power as your regular Dragon's Fire, except it goes off in like a second as opposed to like 3. But that's Gunlance, and with Heavy Bowgun, what you get is you can do the roadie run whenever you want. You don't have to dodge an attack to go into it. You just hold the dodge button, and you will go into an instantaneous run that you can cancel with a slide that goes straight into your siege mode. And once you enter siege mode, the faster you fire your bullets, the faster your rate of fire becomes. So if you keep firing, you go from like 1 shot, 2 shots, 3 shots, 4 shots, 5 shots, just really quick rapid fire. And that's going to change the way that people play Elemental and status heavy bowguns to the point where they're like actually viable. Really excited for that. The other weapons are great. I'm not going to go into everything else. Some noticeable highlights are like Greatsword gets a guard point so that you can counter like critical juncture. It's like that, but you can do it like whenever you want as long as you're in brave mode. It's phenomenal. But I've also been playing some with you guys. Final Fantasy 14. I got back into that the other day. One of the mods.
Basically back on that game again.
One of the mods from my channel recently purchased the game, and I've been helping him get up to. He just became a warrior, and he's liking that so far. We've been playing that a bunch. I picked back up White Mage and Monk. I'm leveling Monk alongside his warrior. That's really fun. And
so he's warrior already. That's really fast progression because he just started a day or two ago.
Not only that, he got his Glad to 22 to get Provoke. He's crazy.
He's enjoying his time on there.
Yeah, and he's a phenomenal tank. Way better than I was when I first started. So, good guy. Good tank.
Did he get the chance to transfer over to Balmung?
He did. He's in Balmung with us now.
Excellent. Cool.
We played Hawk.
Some stuff with him.
Yeah, we did Hawk Manor last night with Dan. It was really great.
Oh, I know Dan's happy to just have somebody new to do something with. That guy's super bored on Final Fantasy right now.
Tomestones.
Give me your poetics.
Give me your poetics. I don't know what I need them for, but I'm going to farm them up with you, boy.
So, and you and I and maybe John will be doing the new dungeon hopefully tonight after the podcast. Yes.
Yeah.
Yay.
I'll be around to play it. I got to get through the rest of my my patch story stuff to get ready for Stormblood.
Yeah, but
later this year.
That's enough of me. How about you, John? What have you been playing?
Like you, I've been playing 14 a lot. Mostly just leveling my Fisher up. I got it from 15 to 56 is what I'm at currently in about 3 days.
Damn!
So, Nate, when you have 100 levs, it goes by pretty quick. Levs are king. Plus, scripts, once you get up to, or collectible turn-ins rather, once you get up to 50 are really, really helpful.
Dude, I'm going to have to fish with you, because you are apparently having the luck that I never have.
It's not about luck, it's just being diligent, it's being
gotta be patient,
committed, and it's just trying to spend your resources in the best way possible.
Full-time job means no patience.
That's true. I am but a humble college student, so I do have a little bit of time more than you. Other than 14 and leveling my gathering class, which Fisher is my last gathering class, and I will have all of the crafting and gathering classes is up to 60. Then I'll be working on getting Dragoon to 60, which I think it's at 56 right now, or 57, one of the two. Finish that up, but after that, I don't know what I'm going to do. But I'm sure I'll think of something.
Probably that's awesome,
tank. Level a tank.
You can't make me.
Just
level
do anything but Gladiator. Like, Gladiator is such an awful tank at first. Once you get to Paladin, you're golden.
It's gonna get buffs in Stormblood.
I hope so.
Yeah. So, other than 14, which I'm trying to think, like, what do I do next? Oh yeah, I'm probably just gonna play the market and store up money for Stormblood. But other than that, yeah. Other than 14, I've been playing a lot of Tom Clancy's The Division with Sean. Actually, we've been playing quite a bit of that, trying to get some new gear sets before the new patch drops. Also on Tuesday, alongside the Final Fantasy 14 patch. Both of them drop on Tuesday, which will be fun. I have to pick between which one to play on patch day. We've been playing a lot of that, trying to get our gear sets and weapons kind of straightened out before the new patch, because we know what's getting hit more so. Like, Sean's kind of trying to gear up so he can replace his Alpha Bridge set with the FAMAS, since that's getting nerfed, sadly. Which, actually, Alpha Bridge, Sean, if you didn't hear, you don't have to meet the skill requirements now. But you only get 4 perks. Yeah, but you only
rather
get
than
4
getting all
perks.
6. Yeah. I think that's a pretty good change, because Alpha Bridge, as it is right now, is very, very powerful, and the entire point of running that set is that if you're running 2 of the same weapons, you get all of the perks across all these weapons if you have the right stats for it. So taking away being able to have 6 perks active, but taking away the requirement, the skill requirement, means you can run some really interesting builds. You'll be able to focus your build on pure firearms if you want, and still be able to get the secondary abilities from your second weapon. I think overall, if they had to nerf Alpha Bridge, this is probably the best way to do it.
Yeah, and I'm pretty sure they're buffing Reclaimer, and they're giving Tactician some trade-offs. The buff only, I think, goes away after you use a skill rather than being on a cooldown after 10 seconds.
Yeah.
But it's also giving some other buff. I mean, that's a nerf definitely, but they're giving it some kind of buff, but I forget what it was. I'll have to try to jog my memory. But yeah, we've just been trying to grind up getting gear sets, trying to get the right gear for 1.6 when it drops next week. And I don't know if you're getting Last Stand though, Sean, but since it's like PvP based, but I think you should get Survival, because I think that'd be fun to play. I played 2 rounds of it the other day. It was actually kind of fun. I mean, I died, but it was like, okay. I mean, this is kind of like somewhat what I wanted, like having to forage for stuff, not to like the severity of being on such a small timer to do it. But
yeah,
I mean, I think I got killed one time by another player, and then the other time I just think I froze to death. Actually,
got super super cold. Didn't find any clothes out on the map.
Yeah, I think I became an Agent Sickle, so I just kind of froze there and
rip.
But it was fun.
Now you said you got killed by another player. So you played the PvE version of it?
I played the PvP version. Yeah.
Okay.
Because I wanted to see if I could actually do well. I think I finished 20th out of I think like 35, 40. So I mean, I survived for like a little bit, but it was like my second game. I think the first game was when I froze to death. Cause I was like, "What do I do?"
Yeah, you know, when I told you about Survival and I kind of gave you the walkthrough for what it is, you said you were really interested. It's basically the best survival-based game out right now. Games very much in the vein of say H1Z1 or DayZ, which are kind of, you know, half-baked, still in beta or still in alpha.
Actually really, really good
survival
now.
Games. Oh yeah, you know, it's gotten a lot of updates, and that's kind of what the survival mode in The Division aimed to be. They could have sold that as its own game mode, which actually I guess it kind of is. It kind of is its own game mode because it's separate from your actual character. It's separate from the level of your character. Whenever you go into survival mode, you start at level 1. Everybody starts at level 1, and then you level up as you play through that mode. And then when you're done with it, you go back to level 1.
Oh,
and it's really interesting.
Oh,
and yeah, Nate, it's a super interesting game mode, and like it's really based on survival. You have to find resources. You need to find food to eat. You need to find clothes to stay warm because it's a blizzard. You need to or need to find fireplaces or something that's lit on fire and stand around it. And your goal is to try to get up some gear and then get to an extraction point on a helicopter and be extracted out. And you have an hour to do it, John?
Yeah.
And it's a really interesting game mode that I wasn't, you know, a lot of people wanted something like that from The Division from the very start. And I'm super glad Massive dove on in. Now, one other thing I wanted to bring up was we were talking about gear sets that are going to be nerfed and gear sets that are going to be buffed in 1.6. They're doing something interesting to your Deadeye set. You might not actually have to go and get anything new once the patch goes into effect.
I don't have to get anything new. They're just changing it so you can't use a red dot and still get crits.
Which is a good change.
Yes. You need to be scoped in. Like, yes, it needs to have that trade-off of not having your peripheral vision so you can get the crits. I perfectly understand that, but slapping a red dot on an SVD and just going to town is kind of like, well,
and getting 300k damage shots just spammed over like a 19 to 30 round magazine.
Yep.
For those who don't know, the Deadeye set, when you're wearing 4 pieces of Deadeye, it basically removes your ability to get headshot or precision damage, but it makes every shot you take while scoped in, while zoomed in on a sniper rifle, it makes all of those shots critical hits. So if you stack up your critical hit damage percentage, you can start getting 300,000 to 400,000 damage per shot on these snipers. Well, turns out if you take that with an SVD, which is a marksman rifle, and you put on a red dot sight, you don't actually have to zoom in. when you hit the zoom button, it just kind of, you're still in third person and you'll still get the benefit of having those crit shots. So what people have been doing is they've been taking the Deadeye set, grabbing an SVD, stacking as much or critical hit damage as they can, and then suddenly they've got this glass cannon build that's just dealing millions of points of damage in seconds. And it's great. Both John and I are running around with that set right now.
It's really
fun. You're using a custom M44 and like an SVD or an M1A or something, right?
Yeah. Because I haven't gotten a good rolled SVD. By the way, have you heard about the new set that's coming out?
Oh, we've got a new gear set?
It's called Seeker. And it specializes in body shots. It provides a guaranteed critical hit after landing 2 consecutive body shots.
Interesting.
So you can rock that with an LMG, and if you're running like a 200 mag, you get 100 body shots if you stay on the body of crit. So you can every other, or I don't know if it's every 2 shots that you land on the body, or that third shot after you land the 2 consecutive hits. That's the crit.
That's like Deadeye Light.
Basically, yes. It's a Deadeye kind of a bargain that you can use with any gun type.
Mm-hmm.
But you have to hit body shots. So it'll be okay for like maybe LMGs, I would assume. Like stacking that with enemy armor damage or something, just ripping through shields. Something of that sort. But yeah.
That's interesting. I hadn't heard about that. I hadn't heard about its special ability, I guess I'll say. I knew that we were getting the Seeker set. For some reason I thought it was already in the game. Mm-hmm. But I didn't know that its ability was basically, Deadeye Light. That's actually kind of cool.
Yeah. Also, we're getting patch and DLC on the same day as 360 and PC, or not 361 and PC.
Oh, so no wait this time around.
No wait. We get it same day.
That's excellent. That's excellent. Now it's just a darn shame you're going to be playing Horizon instead. You came to me the other day and you were like, hey man, 1.6 and Last Stand are dropping next Tuesday. You ready to sesh? And I'm like, boy, don't sit there and lie to me.
I would actually be down playing Division, honestly. I was gonna wait until like Thursday or Friday to get Horizon.
Mm-hmm.
Because I've got a test on Wednesday and I can't like be playing that on Tuesday leading up to my test.
You can't lose your mind on it.
No, I can't.
Quite yet.
I still have to study. I still have my obligations as a student. So, yeah.
All right, fam. I got you, man.
I'm going to wait and get that on the weekend, and then I'm going to get Nier next week, which launches next Tuesday. Great.
You've been watching a lot of streams of that over the past couple of days.
It looks so good.
You're digging it, huh?
I am, fam.
Right on, man. Right on. Well, all right. You been playing anything else this week?
Oh. You'll enjoy this. I actually been playing something with Andrew at his place over the past few days. Nothing like binging on it, but we've been playing it here and there. Actually, two games. We've been playing Wario Land 3,
big,
and Mario and Luigi Superstar Saga.
Like
really
the Game Boy Advance games?
Yep. We loaded up an emulator on the Wii. I know you don't like the sound of that, Nate, but we have the cartridges, but no Game Boys. So we're like, you want to just put an emulator on the Wii and get like a WAD or something? Yeah. Or get like a ROM. I think we have
to play together.
No, I mean, we just swap off like old school. But what you can actually do is, since the Wii has multiple control setups, I can use the Wiimote and he can use the GameCube controller. I can use 2 as the A button. He can use the B button on the GameCube. He can be Luigi. I can be Mario. We're just kind of like
big.
That's how we basically do co-op. So we're just kind of having fun with it. But Wario Land was like I actually haven't played Wario Land 3 ever. I played 2 and I played 4, but I never played 3. So playing that was quite a treat.
Is 3 is the one on the Game Boy Advance though, right? Where you or is it the one where you're invincible and you get the power-ups?
No,
those are the older Wario Land games.
I think it was made in 2000, so I think it was on the Color. I don't think the Advance was out until 2002, 2001. So I believe it was on Game Boy Color. It's like one of the later GBC games. Still looked really, really good on like a TV. I was quite surprised that it looked that good. But other than that, nothing else really. Just been going back, playing some retro games, nerding out on Final Fantasy 14, and trying to grind up in Division. That's about it. What about you, Sean?
Pretty good spread. For me now, I'm still playing Destiny every week. We still have our weekly streams. Having a good time in that. We ran King's Fall this week for the first time in over a year.
It was great.
And it was actually a pretty good time. I enjoyed it, man. I had a really good time playing with the boys and everything. And beyond that, let's see. I got to get a little bit of time in on the Ghost Recon Wildlands open beta over the past couple of days. This is the new Tom Clancy game coming out in next month, I want to say. And it's one that Jay in particular has been really excited about. He's been really anticipating getting some time in on the beta for him to play with. So we've been playing that for the past couple of days, and it's pretty good. It's definitely a little rough around the edges, but I think I said this on stream last night because we streamed a little bit of it. But it's basically like if you took Metal Gear Solid 5 and mixed it with GTA 5.
Really?
And that's the best way I can think of to describe Ghost Recon Wildlands. It's, of course, a third-person action game, where a third-person shooter where you move in squads around a big, gigantic map. The map is massive. It's massive in this game. Just to do missions and whatnot. It's very team-focused, although not quite as reliant on commands as some of the previous Ghost Recon games. Nate, if you remember, we used to play Ghost Recon...
Ghost something? Ghost Squadron or something? Yeah, it was Ghost something.
It was Ghost Recon. I can't remember what the subtitle of it was, but we used to play it back on PS3, and that was a very squad-focused game. Like, in order to complete missions and levels, you had to set up, certain cooperative moments, like timing your shots and whatnot, and all of that comes back for Wildlands. But there's less of a reliance on it. You can certainly go through entire missions solo.
The subtitle wasn't Ghost something. Also, it was like Ghost Recon Ghost Squad or something like that.
Hold on.
It was all it was for the
Ghost
Wii.
Recon PS3
or PS3.
Ghost Recon Future Soldier. That's
Future
what
Soldier.
Was.
That's what it was.
It was Future Soldier. And remember 30K? Good God, 30K.
I remember him getting stuck indoors.
Yeah, the AI was famously pretty awful in that, and for a game that's squad based, that's not a good thing when your AI teammates aren't don't have a lot of brains. And that issue, there's a little bit of that issue in this game. They're not brain dead, but they do kind of fiddle around and do their own thing most of the time. But it's better than it was in Future Soldier. But overall, it's a pretty good game. One bit of a questionable choices from Ubisoft on this game was that I don't understand why they didn't just take the cover system from The Division. The cover system in Wildlands is basically non-existent, which is weird because the Ghost Recon games have almost always been cover-based third-person shooters. And it's weird. Like, you can walk up and you can sidle along walls and whatnot, but it's very unintuitive. You have to kind of go into a crouch mode and then press up against the wall for a second or two before your character gets up on it. And I don't know why they wouldn't have just taken the same cover system that was in Splinter Cell, that's in kind of the Assassin's Creed games, and that's definitely in The Division, which the cover system in Division's great. I think, John, you and I have played Division for quite a while now. The cover system in that is very good.
It's excellent. By the way, this is kind of off topic, but have you heard about the movie that they're making for The Division?
Yeah, with Jake Gyllenhaal.
Yep.
I made a video about it when it was announced almost a year ago. Whatever, we'll see.
Large or small.
Large or small. We'll see when that actually happens. But Ghost Recon, it's good. There's a lot of customization to it. It's got a lot of RPG elements and skills and stuff that you can build up. And it's just a really neat little thing. You can hop into a chopper with your buddies, fly across the map to a mission, send out a drone to tag people, then head in, mop them up, complete your objective. We've been doing a lot of that, and it's pretty fun. A little rough around the edges. Hopefully they get some things fixed up. Like one of the most frustrating things is if you fail a mission, it's not like you just continue gameplay. It stops you, and it's like you died. And it's like a game over, you died, and it restarts you back at the nearest save point. Which seems normal for games, right? That's a normal thing for failing missions in most games, right?
Mm.
The problem here is it counts for side missions too, and some of these side missions start themselves without you having started them.
You walk through an area and then it just triggers?
Yes.
Wow,
So
that's terrible. Ugh.
That happened in LA Noir, and I hated it.
yeah. And it's certainly an issue Jay and I ran into several times when we were playing. There's stuff like convoys, that just move across the map, and they're their own little side mission, and you're meant to stop the convoy and like tag the main vehicle in it and whatnot. But the problem is their tracking through the map goes through other mission areas. So if you're in the middle of a mission and a convoy moves through, the game might automatically start the convoy side mission. It doesn't give you any update on your HUD that the convoy mission has started. It doesn't update your mission list that the convoy mission has started. It'll just start it and say, hey, stop this convoy while you're in the middle of another mission. And then if the convoy gets, I think, like more than 900 meters away from you, you fail. So oftentimes what happened to us 3 to 4 times when we were playing yesterday, as we were doing a specific mission that was in the path of a convoy. We did not activate that convoy mission. We did not aggro the convoy. We're just in there doing the mission. The convoy went through. The side mission started. It didn't alert any of us. And then right when we were about to complete this mission that we were on, the convoy reached 900 meters away. It auto-failed. It caused us to go to the sort of game over screen, sent us back to the safe house checkpoint. We had to start our normal mission all over again.
Jesus.
And that happened 3 times. It happened 3 times over the course of us playing the other day. So that's definitely something that needs to be changed. They should not be moving you to a fail state if you don't complete a side mission. And just little stuff like that would be picked up in a beta and hopefully ironed down before the game has its full release now. But overall, I enjoyed it. It's pretty good. It's a pretty decent game. Very expansive. It's very fun to play with friends. Like I've been doing a lot of gameplay with Jay, Gen X100 for the people here on the channel, and we're having a lot of fun with it. Like we had a little bit of a late night stream last night. It was really funny. We had a lot of goofy things happen to us, and overall, I think it's going to be a pretty good game. I don't know if I'll buy it day one. I think Jay might, but not bad. Ghost Recon Wildlands, it's okay, pretty good. Other than that, I think I've just been playing a little game called Fire Emblem here. I may or may not.
And on to the news.
No. Right now, if you want to listen. I'm literally playing it in the middle of the podcast. Yeah, Fire Emblem Heroes. This is probably the best mobile game I have ever played. A lot of mobile games, so that's not too surprising of a statement. But it's good. Fire Emblem Heroes is pretty darn good.
Plants vs. Zombies is just crying right now.
I wouldn't know. I don't play Plants vs. Zombies. Plants vs. Zombies can hold that L.
Rip.
I got my waifu Emblem Heroes, and I can't wait for waifu Warriors to come out because Fire Emblem is my jam right now. I'm really enjoying it.
Well, that's great.
Yeah, it's good stuff. It's a good mobile game. Nintendo did a good job, and if they take the sort of approach that they've taken with this game moving forward, Nintendo in the mobile market's probably not going to be a bad. Good. I was a little bit worried about how Nintendo would handle mobile. But all right, that's pretty much everything I've been playing this week, guys. What do you say we move on to the news?
We can, if you want.
Maybe. You're a news nerd and you like the news.
I guess if you enjoy displeasure.
Yeah. So, the Nintendo Switch is basically out. And when I say basically, I mean it is in the hands of content creators and influencers all across the web, and I am super duper jelly.
I was gonna say, in the hands of content creators, looks down at hands, no Switch, sadness.
No Switch for you, but it's out for other people. We've got a lot of content creators right now who have gotten their hands on it. Some of which, like Game Explained, doing a lot of really informative videos about the Switch. They're doing some really invaluable work, showing off the way the system works. How to connect to certain things, and some unforeseen issues like some controller desyncs that we got to see a little bit of. Did you watch the video of that, John?
Yeah, I did. And I was just thinking about, like, what if you're playing co-op with someone in, like, Mario Kart, and they just stick their hand in front of your controller, like, suck that, while you're playing, like, Mario Kart, and you just spin out.
Mario's gonna freak out. He's gonna have a spin out going to some donuts. But yeah, we've got to see really a lot of information about the Switch moving forward. We got to see the operating system, the way it handles games. We now know there's going to be a day one patch, which I don't think anybody is really too surprised by, right?
Not in the slightest.
That's just kind of the norm for how game consoles work nowadays. And we've got to see a lot of Zelda gameplay. Now, without spoiling anything here, you guys in the chat, you don't have to worry. We're not going to be spoiling any Zelda topics here, but we are going to talk about a few things. We're getting a lot of gameplay footage. And in that footage, people have noticed a few things. GameXplain certainly made a great video on it. Zelda, when docked, it still seems to stutter a little bit in some high focus, high action areas, like very big grassy areas, or in encounters where there's a lot going on screen. So if you ever have a battle with more than one guardian, you're probably going to be experiencing a little bit of frame stutter, which is kind of sad. But it doesn't look like it's too. What will be the word for it? It's too much of a drag on the game. What do you guys think?
We were talking about this a little bit earlier, and I actually said, like, this is not Street Fighter. This is not a Twitch shooter. This is not, an action game where it has to be at 60 frames per second. Otherwise, you miss chances at losing out on DPS or things like that. I mean, this is Zelda. The combat is fairly slow-paced. And unless you're in the middle of a boss fight and this kind of stuff is going on, it really is not an issue. There are a lot of people saying that this is like, oh, it's a deal breaker. Zelda stutters. But I mean, like, yeah. we've seen frame drops in games before. It's really not that big a deal, guys. And it mostly happens while docked. And you were,
which is interesting.
I don't know if you want to re-explain. We actually were talking about this before the show. Shame on us. But it makes perfect sense when you actually stop to think about it, why this is happening. Do you want to?
Yeah, so performance-wise, we don't know if it's a power issue, and that the Switch just can't handle it when all those things are going on. People are hoping it's a software thing that can be patched out later. But this whole stuttering issue happens when docked, but not so much when you're on mobile. When you've got the console out in its handheld mode, it's as smooth can be. I can't recall if Breath of the Wild runs at 60 or 30 FPS, but whichever it's smooth. It does not have really any stuttering issues to worry about. And some people were confused about that, but the reason for it being is kind of twofold. On one hand, the mobile handheld mode it's rendering at a much lower resolution than I think the 900p that it rolls at while docked. In all likelihood, the handheld mode is either 720p or something a little bit lower, like maybe a little bit higher than 480p, which is fine because on a handheld, that's still going to look pristine. It's still going to look absolutely gorgeous, but not having to render at that higher resolution definitely makes it a little bit easier to maintain that frame rate. And of course, we also got the news that that there's a bit of a boost mode for the Nintendo Switch in handheld that ups its handheld performance by about 25%, and that certainly takes a bit of that certainly helps out a bit with the frame rate there. But the thing is, what I want to test out, I don't know if anybody's actually tried this yet. Since it stutters in docked mode, which is at about 900p, I wonder if knocking your resolution down to 720 would have it stay stable at 60. As far as I know, I don't know if anybody's tested that yet.
Well, why don't you send a letter to GameXplain, and they will happily make a 5-hour analysis video about that.
Look, with how hard Andre and those guys work, they're probably already on that video and that discussion as we speak.
Mm-hmm.
But it could certainly be the cause for some of the stuttering. Maybe this is just the Switch isn't powerful enough to run it at 900p, 60 FPS, or 30. Again, we don't know what frame rate it's running at. Sorry, I got a frog in my throat. But it overall doesn't look like it's too much of an issue. GameXplain did a very in-depth video showing that the stuttering it's like maybe a frame. It's not anything like, it's not chugging down to 24 frames per second so you can get my cinematic vision. It's a very slight frame stutter. Hopefully it's something that can be patched out a little bit later on, though. I still want you're still getting your Zelda experience, but I still want it to be my crispy Zelda experience. Now, in other news, we know Nintendo told the truth. You can take Zelda and go straight to the final boss. Some people have reportedly tried that, and their report is, again, without spoilers, ouch.
Nuke!
It doesn't go so well if you try to go Zerg Rush Ganon immediately upon starting this game, which makes me so excited. The fact that that's an option, that's a viable option, that you can head straight to the end of the game is great. It means this is going to be a truly open world experience where you can do whatever you want, and it's going to make the speed runs of Breath of the Wild absolutely amazing. John, I can't wait to be watching the Games Done Quick guys running through Breath of the Wild.
I'm pretty sure it's going to be the same people that run Twilight Princess and Skyward.
Yeah,
I don't think we're going to get a lot of Ocarina or Majora runners on this. I mean, we very well could in like the first few weeks. It's going to be very saturated with runners, but
oh yeah, absolutely.
But I'm pretty sure I'm going to call it right now. There's going to be a game-breaking bug / glitch / warp that's going to come out where you just warp into the castle.
We're going to get the Goma warp.
Not like Goma warp, but there's probably going to be a bug where you can warp in, and that'll be patched out, making the previous runs invalidated. And it's just, but I am looking forward to seeing like 20-minute speedruns or 30-minute speedruns of this game.
Dude, especially once, they figure out where certain items are guaranteed to spawn on the map. And so it's like, they start the game, they get out of the Chamber of Resurrection, they use whatever kind of crazy parkour they can with the sailcloth to get over to this area of the map that's super hard to get to. They pick up like the Diamond Sword +3 and then rush their way back to the castle. It's going to be amazing watching people play this.
I feel kind of bad for Awesome Games Done Quick.
Yeah.
Because they're going to have to call it Awesome Games Done already?
The AGD. Well, I mean, no, because they already play. They already play games like that. They'll be fine. They'll be fine. Just keep doing stuff for me. Games Done Quick. You guys are great. And I'm trying my absolute best. Of course, whenever content creators get stuff early, eventually stuff starts to leak. I'm trying my best to completely avoid spoilers all across the internet. I imagine as we get closer to next Friday, those spoilers are going to ramp up. So be diligent out there on the internet. No one is your friend. Everyone is your enemy. And you might want to just clock out of YouTube once Wednesday rolls around, because stuff usually happens. But from what I'm seeing, game looks like it's very good. We got the news that Edge Magazine gave it a perfect 10 out of 10. I don't think anybody here is too surprised by that, right?
Not even a little. And before we move any further, I just want to make a quick PSA. If you're a big Twitter user, do not tweet #Breath of the Wild.
No,
because
stay away from it.
What's happening is people are looking for people who hashtag that, and they spam them with spoilers.
Oh no!
Yeah.
What horrible people!
Yup.
Why would you do that?
So pray for me, people. Pray, because I have to be on Twitter to announce things and such. So
rip. Yeah, you're gonna have to be on your band game, dude. Blocked. But right on. So Breath of the Wild looking very good. Nintendo Switch is looking to hopefully launch smoothly. We do have some other launch titles like Snipper Clips and whatnot coming alongside of it. I'm excited. I'm ready for it. I'm ready for Breath of the Wild to be out.
Me too. I want it.
Mm-hmm. All right, but moving on from the good news to some less than good news. We got the official report on a press release from Nintendo that there will be no virtual console for Switch on launch.
Bum, bum, ba-da. Wow.
Now, this is something we had a bit of a chat about earlier in the week. May have gotten a little bit heated. But this is something that's a bit confusing to me, because the virtual console is, of course, a major facet of Nintendo consoles in the current day and age. Being able to go back to that backwards catalog of a massive library of Nintendo games ranging from the NES to the Super NES to the N64 to the Game Boy to the DS. You'd imagine that at least some of that, the NES and Super NES stuff, would be available on launch for the Nintendo Switch, but apparently that's not going to be the case. What do you guys think?
Hi guys, my name's Nate. I've been kind of a Switch white knight as of late. I just want to explain why I think this is the worst decision Nintendo has ever made. Here we go. Ahem. All of the games are available. All the ROMs are already made.
True.
These games have come out on multiple consoles.
They have.
Screw you, Nintendo. So, in summary, I've always been supportive of the Nintendo Switch. I believe a lot of the things that people complain about are stupid and are just part of the Nintendo let's hate them.
I agree.
But this does not make any sense. I should say it doesn't. It makes 95% no sense. The 5% of sense that it makes is they're trying to sell the NES Mini. And so if they just took Legend of Zelda and Super Mario Bros. And put them on there, then it would be competing against their own product. That much makes sense. But why not N64? Why not GameCube? Why not just take the games that I already paid for and own? They've already done the account merging. That's done. My Nintendo Network ID is already set, so all my purchases are on history on the Switch. That's already confirmed. Why I can't access them is garbage.
And it's a really questionable choice from Nintendo because there's no way Virtual Console compatibility, there's no way it's not compatible with the Switch as is right now. There's absolutely no way that it's not working on the console. Which leads me to believe that the only reason that it's not out there is to sort of help pad out that initial release month or two. With content, they can say, okay, these games are out at the beginning of March. All right, end of March, beginning of the next month. Now Virtual Console's available, and then after that, now Splatoon's available. Then after that, now Mario Kart's available. That's the only thing I can think of.
That was my first thought. But then why not announce the Virtual Console as a feature rather than a question mark?
Yeah, just saying, it's not going to be available at launch. It leaves the question of, okay, well, when is it going to be available? Is it going to be available at all? And we don't have the answer to any of that, and that's not good for the console that Nintendo is trying its hardest to sell right now. And it's just really weird, it's really weird. There's no way I can personally believe that at the very least NES and Super NES compatibility with Virtual Console isn't already finished and ready and done on Switch. There's no way I can believe that. With all that they've done with the Wii and the 3DS is capable of playing those games, there's no way I can look at that and say, okay, well, maybe it's just not done. Maybe it's not. We'll have to see.
If I'm perfectly honest, I don't need a Wii U backwards compatibility / back library. I don't need it. Give me GameCube. Give me N64. Do it.
That's the second part of this. This is wrapping up into the other previous rumors that the Switch was going to be the first console to have GameCube backwards compatibility. That's something I still really hope is going to happen. I don't know if it's going to happen. I really hope it is because that's a library. That's an untapped market. It's a library that hasn't seen the light of day basically since the Wii, where it didn't have Virtual Console compatibility, but you could at least play your GameCube discs on there. And this kind of calls a little bit of that into question on whether or not that's going to be a thing, and normally we don't address this too much on podcasts, but I'm looking at the chat here and we've got somebody in there saying every Virtual Console on 3DS should be there on launch. Agreed. Completely agreed. All of the Virtual Console titles that are compatible with the 3DS right now should be compatible with the Switch. They should be. Because, most of those games are already available on other Nintendo or on other Virtual Console compatible platforms like the Wii and the Wii U. But it really just it's a questionable decision. That was a big reason for people to buy the Switch, having immediate access to that massive backwards compatible library of Nintendo games. And now that's just not going to be there on launch. Part
of me feels as though another reason is because Virtual Console games don't tend to sell very much because people can just get ROMs. And what does sell is classic collections.
That's true. That's very true.
Those games can sell a $60 classic collection and put 3 or 4 games on it, and maybe have a pretty UI and some visual filters you can add to the thing, and that sells for $60. Whereas those 4 games would have sold for maybe $3 or $4 each individually on Virtual Console.
Yeah, it's kind of funny because you're absolutely right in that emulation exists, and the fact that emulation is a very popular alternative to this is completely Nintendo's fault.
Mhm.
We've had this discussion several times, and the reason that emulation became such a popular thing for Nintendo games is because they weren't available any other way. For the longest time, you couldn't go back and play Pokemon Red, Blue, Yellow, Gold, Silver, all of those games, unless you had an old Game Boy or an old Game Boy Advance to play those titles on. And it took Nintendo so long to finally say, okay, maybe these old classic titles, are worth bringing back because people want to play them. That, people move on to other things. Once you find out that you can emulate any and all of those titles on your phone, it's just an easier solution. And so, I don't understand why Nintendo wouldn't want to have that available at launch. John, what do you think about this, man?
Chirp.
Basically, I'm just waiting for GameCube, honestly.
Yeah.
That's like the main thing that I'm waiting for. But,
I'm with you, brother.
But I am kind of disappointed that Nintendo has taken this route, especially since the members of their new online service were guaranteed one virtual console rental per month.
A month, yeah. And thanks for saying rental there.
Yeah. So that's gonna hurt their rep a little bit because they're giving you this service and yet they're not coming through with one of the promises or one of the benefits of that service from launch. It's very rocky to start off the launch, but hopefully they can turn around and give us a good library. If they come back like 2 to 3 months from now, I'm like, sorry for making you guys wait, but here's this big expansive library, including GameCube titles and other games we haven't released on previous systems. We wanted to make sure that we had a really good product for you in the coming months, so you would be held over. Maybe they heard the outcry of there's not much to play until the fall or the winter season where we have Mario and such, and maybe they're trying to brace themselves and try and hold over gamers for that period of time with their VC. I don't know if that's the case, but that's kind of like a speculation that I have. I'm still kind of disappointed about it, but it's not going to make or break my experience. I was never a big person for virtual console. Yes, I bought a few titles here and there, but I never had like more than like 3 to 4 games of virtual console on like any system. I think I only had like Mega Man 2, 3, and the rest of them I just installed on my Wii. And then the Wii U, I think I only bought like DK64 and maybe
good choice.
Maybe Mario Power Tennis or something. That's about it though.
And, I wanted to bring attention to something that you said that's absolutely right. Nintendo's new their new premium online service. One of the big tenets of that was, hey, you're going to be able to rent these virtual console titles that are going to have some sort of online capacity. And now is that not going to be available for the first month, or are they going to use that as being as kind of being one of the selling points for their Nintendo online service?
Well, the online service isn't going to be premium until the first 6 months, I think they said.
Yeah, until like the end of this year is
October.
What they said. Yeah, so that's an interesting point. And also, while we're harping on this, because in my opinion, I think this is a negative bit of PR for Nintendo not having the virtual console available. It's in no way a deal breaker.
Exactly,
I want to put that out there. This is in no way a deal breaker for the Nintendo Switch. It's not like the success of this console hinged on whether or not you could play Super Mario Brothers 3 for the umpteenth time.
Exactly.
Buy it for the
it's just really disappointing.
Yeah, it's just a little bit of a disappointing note. But it's in no way going to take away from, my desire to own this system. And I think that's an important distinction to make. But yeah, so no virtual console on launch. We'll have to wait for that and see what happens there.
We kind of glossed over it, but do you want to talk about the disconnection issues with the Joy-Cons?
Yeah, go ahead, man.
So Game Explain did this really in-depth analysis that I really love of the Joy-Cons, where they booted up the menu where you go in and you can check and configure your sticks to make sure that they work correctly, and they put it through its paces, and they found the reason why some people are reporting desync errors. So what was happening was people would be playing Breath of the Wild, and then all of a sudden Link would just start running off to the left. And the reason for that was because they thought that the left Joy-Con was desyncing. And partially that's true. Technically it's still connected to the system. But what's happening is if the IR sensor is disrupted, it's not getting a full signal over to the Switch. And basically biological matter blocks the signal. So if you put your hand or in front of it, or if you put the Joy-Con behind your body, the Switch won't be able to recognize it. So you have to play pretty closely to the Switch to be able to get the Joy-Cons to work. And while that's not too big of a deal breaker, it makes me wonder how games like 1-2 Switch are supposed to work.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
where you're specifically, utilizing your body and the Joy-Con separately from the tablet itself.
Exactly.
As the control scheme.
It's a little scary, I'm not gonna lie. People who play with the Pro Controller are gonna have no problems. People who play with the system docked and people who play with the system on, or with the Joy-Cons on their actual Switch itself are going to have no problems. It's just if you take the Joy-Cons off and use them as individual controllers that you may notice that there's some slight desyncing. Which, again, not a deal breaker, but also it kind of makes you question, like, is the tech inside the Joy-Cons that great?
Yeah, it's just another question mark to add to the Nintendo Switch, which we've spoken about before, is never what you want on a console like this. You don't want people questioning the validity of it. You want people to be assured that the technology therein is working the way it's supposed to.
I mean, honestly, we've never had this kind of problem with a Bluetooth controller before. So I can't imagine that this is even Bluetooth. It's probably some kind of proprietary
IR or something like that. Yeah,
exactly. Yeah.
It could be proprietary, but it could be also, like Nate said, made cheap. But when I look at the price tag, I really have no quarrels with it. I mean, it's still $300 for a console. I really shouldn't be complaining. At the end of the day, it's still going to supplement my needs to game. So,
well, what if you separate the price of the Joy-Con itself from the console? Because the Joy-Cons are what,
$60 or something.
Because
you would just mark it for $250. At least that's what I would think. But at the end of the day, I'm not going to sit here and complain when the console is still cheaper than the rest of the market. Yes, it may have like a really weird problem with the IR sensor, but I think we've come to know by now that if you put your hand in front of a sensor on like a Wii controller, it's not going to work.
It messes with it. Yeah, it messes with it.
Boy, this is weird.
It's just weird that it wouldn't go through biological matter.
No, I mean,
I'm glad.
It's weird
go through my body.
It's weird for me to be on the other end and John being the let's defend it guy.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Yeah, this is kind of throwing you off. You're throwing off the dynamic, John. You need to cut it back, man.
Hey, John, let's switch places. I think the Switch is totally perfect, and everybody who complains about it is a moron. You?
I'm not going to say that. I think the console has a fair share of problems, this being one of them. But a lot of the problems are so small that I look at the price tag and I'm like, okay, like you're getting a good gaming experience for $300. Why are you bitching? Why are you moaning? It's not that big of a deal as what you're making it out. Like frame drops in Zelda. I don't know if that's a problem with the software. Maybe something's not optimized right on the software. Maybe the hardware can't run it at 900p 60 frames like it's supposed to. And then when you take it off, it downscales it to 720/30. Like I think that's what it is, 720/30 when you
I'm
take
pretty
it off
sure,
the dock.
yeah.
So when I look at that, I'm like, okay, it's going to have some frame stutters. A lot of games in this day and age have frame stutters.
That's my point exactly.
It's like you said, it's not a Twitch shooter. It's not a game where every second matters. Yes, it's going to be like, question mark. Like you're like, oh, that kind of sucks. But I'm not going to sit here and let it ruin my gaming experience, my exploration of this open world. For an open world game to drop frames, you see it in almost every open world game.
Every single big open world game. And this is a very Western styled open world RPG. It happens in all of them.
Mm-hmm.
It happens in a bunch of open world games. Skyrim, GTA, Red Dead. I could go off and name a million of them. But for Nintendo to try and tackle this where they haven't tackled a big open world before, like really, really open world, for them to have kind of minor frame drops, I'm perfectly fine with it. It may sound like I'm being a Nintendo fanboy and giving them the benefit of the doubt, but I have yet to see an open world game where we don't have frame drops. So,
Hey, like we said before with the Virtual Console thing, this is in no way a deal breaker.
no,
The
Exactly.
Joy-Cons not being able to send a signal when I put it behind my back is not a deal breaker at all. Not at all.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure Nintendo's either using like a modified IR sensor like they used with the kind of like a modified Wiimote, sort of like they're using the Wiimote technology that is a base and they've built on it. But still, when you put your hand in front of Wiimote, it's not going to detect the little pointer when you're on like the Wii menu, or it's not going to get your motion actions really. So, like I said, it's not that big of a deal.
Yep. I think at this point, all that's left to do is pretty much bury ourselves underground and pray that we're not horribly spoiled by the time that we actually get our hands on one of these.
It's going to be rough to avoid certain. I don't care so much about console spoilers. If people want to tell me, hey, what the menu looks like and whatnot.
Well, you've watched
avoiding those Zelda spoilers.
You've watched all those UI videos, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
There's going to be a troll where they have like Zelda suspended like in the application, like they're showing you the UI and they're like whoops, and they go back into the software and it's just like big spoiler there. It's like, oops, sorry about that, guys. Wink,
Oops.exe.
Oops. Oops, Nintendo's about to sue me.
Yeah, that's breaking NDA. You don't want to get into that quagmire.
Mm-hmm. I think the earliest you can stream is the 2nd because it'll be out in Australia on the 3rd.
Yeah.
So I think you can stream it on the 2nd in like America.
So that's when I'll have to stop paying attention to Twitch. Yeah, I'm jealous too, man. I need to talk to the PR people. Send me a Switch. I need one now, man.
I can't speak for Sean, but I am definitely gonna be like 24 hours streaming that game when it comes out. I've already got my Switch pre-ordered. For those of you who didn't catch the beginning, I'm getting Zelda. I've already got my capture card like all set up. I'm ready. I want to go and do this.
I can't believe we're almost there, man. We're less than a week away from the official public launch of the Nintendo Switch. It's gonna be a very interesting time moving forward, and I think a lot of channels are gonna be swapping over to some Zelda content. Oh, how am I gonna handle this?
It's gonna stink for us, I think, because like you and I are gonna be playing it and making content for it, and then we go on YouTube to relax and not do that, and everybody's gonna be playing Zelda and making content for it.
Yeah, it's going to be a very Breath of the Wild focused month moving forward. But you know what? It looks like it's going to be a great game, so I'm perfectly fine with that.
Yeah.
But right on, that's pretty much it for the Switch news. A lot of stuff to talk about from that. The last little bit of a news story we want to talk about, we're going to very quickly go through it. AMD has officially revealed the release information for their Ryzen CPU architecture. They had a bit of a live stream and a live held event going on, and it's looking like it's going to be really good. Ryzen's going to come in three different CPU packages: the 1700, 1700X, and the 1800X. They are going to provide some very good, very high-end CPU performance. They're looking to challenge some of Intel's upper end, the i7 6900 and possibly even the 7700. With a fairly priced CPU, like the 1800X, the highest tier offering, is supposed to be a direct competitor to Intel's Kaby Lake i7s. And it's going to be less than $600. That's going to be a very big blow. They're all releasing on March 2nd, so a day before the Nintendo Switch. They're looking to provide a powerful, cheap alternative to the higher-end Intel cards. This makes me happy. I'm a computer nerd. I'm looking to build a new PC. I'm gonna have to get a new motherboard to fit this thing. But I am very happy that Ryzen is finally going to be seeing a release. I could use a bigger, more powerful CPU for both streaming and rendering video content. So this has got me psyched. I know neither of you are as big into PC specs as I am, but I'm looking forward to this. They've also got their Vega GPU architecture. We should be learning about that within the coming weeks. I think they said they want to reveal it. So good stuff. Good. It's good to see Intel's finally getting a little bit of competition in the high-end market, because they've had the top spot unopposed for way too long. Their pricing structure, if I can be frank, is gosh darn ridiculous. They've got like 4 to 5 year old CPUs that are high end that are still like $600-700. For the highest end ones, like $1,200. It's good to see AMD is going to be giving them a little bit of a run for their money. Good stuff. Good stuff. But other than that, that's pretty much all the news we've got this week, guys. You guys got anything else you want to talk about?
Nope.
No more food? You don't want to talk about more delicious
because maybe somebody hasn't eaten yet, and maybe somebody's hungry. And
Rip.
Speaking about food would make somebody leave this podcast this instant.
Well, that'd be okay, because this is going to be the end of today's show, Guardians and guys and non-Guardians and everybody who's sitting here listening to it live. Excellent stuff, man. Good stuff all around, guys. Very excited for the Nintendo Switch. We will officially have our hands on one by next week. So on the next episode of the podcast, next Saturday, episode 35, should be the official Nintendo Switch episode. On the off chance that both John and I don't have one, Nate, I'm going to expect you to have a full system review ready and on my desk.
By 5 o'clock.
But on my desk by 5 o'clock. Work overtime for it. Do you know what exactly you're picking up with the Switch?
I'm definitely getting Zelda. Probably going to be getting Shovel Knight and Snipper Clips, and that's probably it.
Okay, that's a good roundup. I think Zelda would be enough on its own just for as a game to have moving forward.
I'm going to try to get a Pro Controller if they have any.
Ooh, excellent. Were you not able to pre-order that?
No, they wouldn't let you.
Oh, really? That's kind of interesting.
Yeah,
but at least you were able to get your console, and you weren't one of the scumbags buying like 5 Nintendo Switches and just trying to short the market there.
Yeah.
But right on, guys, it's going to be it for episode 34. If you'd like to catch some more from me, you can, of course, follow me right here on YouTube or on Twitch and Twitter, all at TheBlackLink. Moving forward, I've got the Planet Destiny podcast going live tomorrow. We'll be live streaming that at 10 p.m. Eastern time. And then, of course, I've got my usual live streams over on my channel and on Planet Destiny, Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and Thursdays, all starting at 11 a.m. Eastern time. Love to see your faces there. Probably going to be streaming some Zelda on Friday if I can get my hands on a Switch, or on Saturday, probably immediately after the podcast ends. We'll be going live with another Zelda live stream. I think I want to live stream my entire first playthrough of the game.
Really?
Usually when I do games, I like to play through it once and then I'll live stream the game. I think I might want to live stream the entire first playthrough.
I feel like that's kind of part of the appeal.
Yeah.
Like the wonder and adventure of the first playthrough.
I'll be experiencing everything for the first time, and I think that'd be a good way to handle it. What about you? Are you gonna play through it first and then live stream, or what?
Oh yeah, I think I'm gonna live stream the whole thing, and I'm going to I'm gonna try to do like as much of a let's play as I can with it. So I'm going to stream the whole thing, but chop it into let's play parts.
That's, I find that to be the best way to handle things, especially you just got a brand new big 4 terabyte hard drive. So what I would recommend you do is while you're live streaming, set Elgato to record.
Yep, that's what I'm going to do. I'm just going to break it into like 30-minute segments.
Yeah, and that way you'll have the high quality source recordings separate from your live stream. I need to buy a 5 terabyte hard drive and get down to doing that too, because that's the only way to do LPs these days. It's so much easier than recording an episode, editing it all together, and stuff like that. But good stuff. Where can they find your stuff, Nate?
They can find me everywhere as HuntArtist, and if you want updates on my streams, you can follow me on Twitch or Twitter rather at Nate_Donahue.
Excellent. HuntArtist. He does live streams and stuff. You've been branching out a little bit from just Monster Hunter, though.
I've been forced to, yes. My my 3DS capture card doesn't work very well, so right now I'm doing Monster Hunter 3U. I'm doing Legend of Zelda Hyrule Warriors. I'm doing Metal Gear Rising: Revengeance. And
good choice on that one.
Thank you very much. And later today, hopefully, I'll be doing some Final Fantasy XIV. So if you want to find out more about that, be sure to follow me on Twitch, or on Twitter rather, and I will be posting more about that later.
Excellent stuff, man. I watched an episode or two of the Metal Gear Rising. God, that game is fantastic. Can we get a PlayStation 4 remaster of that game?
It's on PC.
Oh, even better. That's better than a PlayStation 4 remaster. Much
Yeah.
better. Yeah, Revengeance is a fantastic game, and I would recommend anyone who has never played it to go and play it. It's great. It's 10 out of 10. All right, John, what's up with you, man? What you got going on?
Nothing much, but you can follow me on Twitter at Billy Bitchcakes.
I believe you.
You
Continue.
never fail to amaze.
Right.
Every week it's something good.
Mm,
And of course, you'll be there on most of my live streams during the week.
correct.
Although you don't have to be. You don't want to be there. You don't have to be. You can be if you want to. Up to you, man.
I'll definitely be there on Tuesdays and Thursdays.
Mm-hmm.
Wednesdays it's kind of like maybe not, because I have to go like really early because I've got class at 1, which is usually when you go offline.
Big stuff. Well, that's cool. But all right, ladies and gentlemen, that is it for episode 34 of the EoTW podcast, where every day is the end of the week. Be sure to tune in next week. It's going to be our big Nintendo Switch expose. We'll be giving you our hands-on experience with that. We're probably going to have some live streams and videos here on the channel too, so stay tuned to all of it. I love your faces, and we'll catch you guys in the next one.
See ya.
Bye. I'm waving, but you can't see it because this isn't a podcast that we do with cameras.
/wave.
/wave.